You're muted.
Okay, let us say the opening prayers. Om. 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Okay, so chapter 16 today. Let me spotlight myself. Okay. So today's chapter is Bhagiratha's Penance. Dilipa had a son by name Bhagiratha. So far we are talking. We've been talking about Ganga, how Ganga came from the heavens to the earth, river Ganga, right? So continuing with that story. So far, Vishwamitra was saying to Rama and Lakshmana that Rama's ancestors, one of the ancestors, Sagara, he has children, he had children, and all those stories from the previous video, previous lesson. You can go catch up if you've not listened to it. So where we are right now is one of the descendants of Sagara, who is also an ancestor of Rama. His name is Dilipa. He is also during his lifetime trying to make an effort to bring Ganga from the heavens to the earth so that he can do the oblations for his ancestors' spirits, the 60,000 uncles of his, or great uncles, who got burnt to death by sage Kapila, because they went and abused him and he was in penance, thinking he is the one who stole the horse. Okay, so this chapter is chapter number 16, Bhagiratha's Penance, starting now. Dilipa had a son by name Bhagiratha. Dilipa ruled the kingdom until illness overtook him, and crowning Bhagiratha as the king, Dilipa died. The one purpose in his life, in the life of Bhagiratha, was to make his ancestors reach the heavens. He left the kingdom in the hands of efficient ministers and went to perform tapas. Brahma was pleased with the intense tapas which the king was bent on, and he appeared before Bhagiratha and said, "The Devas and I are pleased with your penance. Ask what thou wilt of me. I will certainly grant it." Bhagiratha, with his eyes closed with tears of gratefulness, spoke in voice choked with tears. "My lord, if you want to grant me a boon, grant me this. Grant that my forefathers reach the heavens. I have to perform the Nirvapanjali for them with the waters of the Ganga. And my lord, the line of the Ikshvakus should not terminate with me. These are the boons I ask of you," said Bhagiratha. Brahma said, "Have no fear, your line will not stop with you. You will be the father of a son. As for Ganga, you know that she is the daughter of Himavan. When she descends from the heavens, no one will be able to bear the force of her descent except Lord Mahadeva. You must pray to him." Bhagiratha now addressed himself to Mahadeva and spent a whole year fasting, with just air for food. Mahadeva was pleased with the devotion of the king and appeared before him and said, "My mind is pleased with you and your desire to win for your forefathers a place in the heavens. I will take Ganga on my head and break the force of her descent." Ganga, the daughter of Himavan, had at the command of Brahma agreed to come down to the earth. According to the promise he had given Bhagiratha, Lord Mahadeva stood on a raised plateau of the mountain by name Himavan. All the heavenly beings had assembled in the skies to see the great and glorious sight. Bhagiratha was standing with his eyes lifted to the skies from where Ganga was to descend. They were waiting, and suddenly they heard a mighty roar. Ganga was in the sky, and an intense sheet of water began to rush towards the earth. It seemed as though the sea had reached the heavens and was rushing back to the earth in a hurry. Ganga has become very proud of the fact that she was indispensable. She told herself, I will rush down with such fury that I will sweep Mahadeva into the Patala and the earth too. Dodging her mind, Mahadeva knew that her pride had to be humbled. He stood with his trident held behind his back with both his hands, with his head slightly raised and a beautiful smile shadowing his lips. So he stood when Ganga came down to the earth. The sacred Ganga fell straight into the hollowed head of Mahadeva. Everyone was watching her descent. Then they saw a strange sight. Ganga's water was coming down from the sky, but when they reached the matted lock of my Lord Mahadeva, they were absorbed by them. Ganga was lost and no one could see her. Try as she might, she could find no way out of the tangled mass of the Lord's locks. Bhagiratha was desperate and he praised the Lord and prayed that he should have compassion on him. Mahadeva felt that he had punished her enough and he allowed Ganga to emerge from his jata along a single strand of his hair. Drop by drop she came and a pool was formed, which was named Bindu Saras. Ganga was thus called Alakananda. When the pool became a lake and when it was full, the river flowed in 7 streams. 3 of these flowed eastwards and 3 towards the west. The seventh flowed Bhagiratha as his chariot rushed towards the south. The seventh followed Bhagiratha as his chariot rushed towards the south, towards the cave where Sagaraputras were waiting for their deliverance. The earth looked like the sky with swans flying around. So white was the foam of the river as she followed the king's chariot. She was so willful. Here she would flow straight as an arrow, and there she would wind like a serpent. She would rush fast at some spots, and at others she would just meander like a woman walking in a pleasure garden. She would flow smoothly on the ground for a while, and suddenly she would tumble like a child at play. So she went to purify the earth. She had washed the feet of Narayana, and she had passed the region of the moon. She had been born on the head of Mahadeva and thus thrice purified. She had come down to the sinful earth to grant salvation for a fistful of ashes. Such is the greatness of the heavenly bonds. Ganga reached Patala and finally Bhagiratha's dream came true. He saw the ashes of his ancestor drenched in the waters of divine Ganga. Brahma came to Bhagiratha and said, Child, you have achieved something which was by no means easy. So long as the water remains in the ocean, your forefathers who gave the ocean its name, Sagara, will remain in the heavens. Ganga will be your eldest daughter in the eyes of the gods, and she will be called Bhagirathi. Vishwamitra's narration was complete and he said, Rama, my child, as usual, I've been talking for so long. I've told you the story of how Ganga came down to the earth. Ganga, who is Tripataga, since she was in the heavens, on the earth, and in Patala too. Tripataga, not Tripadaga, Tripadaga. Evening is fast approaching. Let us prepare to rest for the night. What a thrilling tale, exclaimed Rama. Whether he nor his brother could get over the thrill of it, neither he nor his brother could get over the thrill of it. They spent the whole night thinking of the strange things which had happened long ago, and so passed the night. Okay, quiz time. Surya Laya, you ready? Unmute.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, name few other names that Ganga has been given other than Ganga.
Yeah. Did it end with Sarah?
Sagara.
No, did it end?
Bhagirathi, Bindu Saras, you mean?
Bindu Saras.
She's called Alakananda. She is called Bhagirathi. Yes, she was given because Bhagiratha brought her down to heaven, to earth. Brahma said that she is like your daughter as well. So she's called Bhagirathi. Okay, because Bhagiratha is the one who, because of whom she came down. Now, when she came when she drop by drop, she came and a pool was formed, which was named Bindu Saras. Okay. And then that pool became a lake. And when it was full, the river flowed in 7 streams. So what directions did the streams go?
East and west.
Okay.
North and south.
3 to the east, 3 to the west, and 1 to the south, Surya. Okay. That was the guess you were making. I'm asking these questions so you're listening to all the details. Why is Bhagiratha getting Ganga down to heaven? To
So
earth?
his ancestors can go to heaven.
Okay. And who are these ancestors?
Sagara.
Sagara Putras. King Sagara's sons. Okay, Sagara Putras. So where were they? Were they in heaven, in earth, or the Patala?
Patala.
And so, because Ganga has flown in all 3 areas, right? Heaven, earth, and Patala. So she is also called Tripadaga. Okay. So she's Bhagirathi, Tripadaga, Alakananda. All of these names are for Ganga. Now, when Ganga came down to earth, she'll come in so much of a force. So what did they do to stop that? She thought she'll come in so much force that she'll push earth into Patala. So what did Lord Mahadeva do?
He stood on the mountain Himavan and collected the water in his hair.
Yes.
Then he let like drop by drop Ganga down, so he doesn't.
Okay, so she was very proud. So in order to humble her, everything was getting absorbed in his mat. And then Bhagiratha went and prayed to Lord Mahadeva to have mercy. And then Lord Mahadeva said, okay, she would have learned her lesson. And then through one of his hair, she started coming as drop by drop. Yeah. And one more question. So she followed Bhagiratha towards the south. So 3 streams to the west, 3 streams to the east, and 1 in the middle towards the south, which followed Bhagiratha. Okay. So what did you find interesting in this story of Ganga? Do you remember seeing Ganga?
Yeah, how Shiva just like caught Ganga in his hair and she couldn't escape.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say as
His
well.
hair was so strong.
Yes. Okay, so we can start little bit of the next chapter, chapter 7, towards Gautama's ashrama. Early in the morning, the party of rishis headed by Vishwamitra, who had the princess by his side, went towards Vishala, a beautiful city. They had crossed the Ganga with the help of a boat and had reached the other bank. Rama was still thinking of the glorious narration of the descent of Ganga. On the northern banks of Ganga, they saw the city by name Vishala. As was natural to him, Rama wanted to know whose city it was and who was ruling it now. Okay. So far you have learned so many. It's like Rama is asking questions and Vishwamitra is telling. First he spoke about Siddhashrama. Then he spoke about how Ganga came down. Yeah. What other places did Rama ask and so far in the story? They've been traveling from Ayodhya, right? You remember the places they've been
He's
traveling?
asked like all the questions.
Yeah.
He's asked about that forest, why it
Excellent.
was so gloomy, and he also asked about Ganga.
Yes. So what do you remember the forest name?
No, but I remember the story.
Tataka.
Tatak.
Okay, Tataka Vana, where the Rakshasi Tataka was, and she was the one who was disturbed, who was making that forest non-livable, right? So they killed her. Then in Siddhashrama, they came to Siddhashrama, and he told a story about how Siddhashrama is a place where Vamana came and he got Indra heaven back from King Bali. Narayana in the avatar of Vamana came and got a gift from King Bali, and then how he did that, he tricked, saying, just give me three land where three places where I place my feet. And then he went into his Vishwarupa, and just one foot size was the entire earth. Do you remember that story? You forgot? Yeah, say that. So this is a quick revision, okay? Then after that, they are traveling. We've read about Ganga's story in 2 chapters. So now they are going towards this beautiful city called Vishala, which is in the north part of Ganga. They have already crossed Ganga. How did they cross Ganga? Unmute and speak. How did they cross Ganga?
By boat.
Yes.
By like a river.
Okay. I think we'll continue tomorrow. Today is a small chapter because this is a big one. And chapter 18 is going to Mithila. So we'll continue tomorrow. What Vishwamitra says about this beautiful city of Vishala. We'll continue tomorrow. Let's say our closing prayers. Close your eyes, sit straight, drop your shoulders, bring your attention to the tip of your nose and your body. Now take a deep breath and Om as you breathe out. Om. 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Shanti Shanti Shanti